Genetic continuity in exchange for self-destructs. This is a debt I have to pay. It is also the eternal moon of life. If fate is destined, there will be a price. Then let this price be light. My name is the Pacific giant octopus. It is the largest known octopus on Earth. Some say I'm a kraken from the abyss. Some people say I am one of the aliens left on Earth. Can tear apart all myths. Actually, I'm just a genetically manipulated puppet. Sacrifice eternity with death. Fishing for flesh and blood is the only meaning of my life. Cold North Pacific. That's where my life began. It's where I hunt. The water here is fresh and deep. The sun shines mottled shadows through the water. Become my only timescale. This year is my 4th year living alone in the abyss. It was also the most heroic year of my life. In 4 years, I started from a young egg the size of a grain of rice. It has grown and weighs nearly 100 kg, the arm span of your adult behemoth. And my body. It has also become the most exquisite masterpiece of nature. 3 hearts pumping basket shoes day and night. 9 brains working in a distributed manner. They met with 8. Independent perception and action. I can be a rock in a second. Blend into the ocean floor. You can also burst with power in an instant and crush it. In case of danger, it can quickly spray into the enemy sea. Do not hinder the golden cicada from shelling. This sentence fleshly body is both an illusionist of the abyss, also a bursting hunter. It is a track home to escape from difficulties. I used to think I was the absolute master of the ocean. But after one of my hunts, suddenly I find that my feet are no longer powerful. Keen touch begins to dull. Then I realized how perfect the creation was. You can't escape the judgment of your genes. Summit and middle chapter. Glory and sacrifice. 4 years. And this older ocean is just a snap of a finger. But with me, it's already a life burning countdown to the end. The waters of the North Pacific Ocean, still bitterly cold. But the blue blood in my body, but for no reason set off a strange scorching heat. Just like when sunlight penetrates the white rice water layer. The little broken placket on my wrist. I see. It is the embryo of life that has awakened from its slumber. They quiver gently in their soft ovaries. Little by little, the stars are lit up, pulling my soul in a softer direction. I obediently open all races. Turn the invitation from the bottom of your heart into new hope. Blend into the salty sea water. It was a love letter written in water. Only he who is in touch with me can understand. The wait didn't last long. In the water curtain of the distant orchid, a huge shadow slowly appeared. At this moment, the sea water seems to be half a beat slower. He wasn't in a hurry to get close. He reached out his tentacles and reached out to me, like asking, would you like to? I can feel the warmth of his cold blood, hot as me. But I didn't respond. Because the surging love has already betrayed me. Our wrists are intertwined like poetry. Soft and slow and right in the middle. Like a pair of lovers I haven't seen in a long time. He entrusted me with his most precious cheeks. I gave him my most precious moment back. We never talked, but it feels like a lifetime. The water becomes gentle. The light becomes hazy. That moment, it's as if the whole ocean is holding on to us. This once-in-a-lifetime ritual of life. It lasted for more than 4 hours. When the 4 seasons finally subside, he let go and stepped back. No goodbye, no looking back, introducing dark blue as if it had never appeared. The sea is back up. With his remaining breath, it slowly faded away. In the end, it was just me and the still dappled light in the water. Maybe love is like that. You give everything. The ending may not be happy, but I never regret it. Because I give. What is given will be the beginning of 1,000 lives. The water is still flowing, the light is still falling, but deep in the ovaries, the fire of life has been ignited. I rise heavy boulders. The light that will lead to the world, along with my remaining vitality, it was sealed. This is the first barrier to protect children. It is also the last one to bury me. I crouched in a narrow cave. Use suction cups to clean every inch of stone wall. a signal that brings ovarian pain. I started to stretch my legs, pull out clusters of grape-like cysts, lightly hanging from the top of the stone wall. 100,000 translucent eggs, like 100,000 little lamps, and in every little lamp bead, wrapped in a little life. That's all the light I left for this sea. It is also the whole future I leave to the world. I stretched out the slimmest wrist, gently brushed the egg sac. For fear of a little force, I disturbed these sleeping little guys. Touch the suction cup on the wrist. Feel the smoothness and warmth of the egg sac. At that moment, all exhaustion turned into soft expectation. From now on, time and I are no longer a flowing river, but slowly dripping poison. In the next half a year, I do not eat or drink, become a silent guardian. Stir the water with the first petals. Use suction cups to remove mold. Spray negative oxygen with a red tube. Seawater defends the body against potential thieves. Sometimes I may be vulnerable to a single word and burst into tears. Sometimes I also found myself gritting my teeth and walking a long way. I have always believed, although life may not be as good as you imagine, but it's not as bad as you think. But reality soon gave me a reminder. Loud slap. Hunger is like a retro body, nibbling on internal organs day and night. Last hunt. The wrist and foot bitten off by the shark are still bleeding. I dare not leave the nest again. I can only keep swallowing seawater to suppress my hunger. Once a crab passed by the hole. I almost popped out. You can see a slight tremor in that cluster. Shrinks back. They are still too weak. Can't stand any disturbance. Then my skin lost its magic of change. All that remains is rock-like ashes. The outermost wrist becomes stiff. The suction cup has lost its strength. The movement of the eggshell becomes sluggish. I know this is the beginning of the end, but I'm still sitting on the egg, mechanical waving. Let the water run through my children. If you have children, you will understand. The word mother is not an honor. It's not a responsibility, but even if you are dying, save your breath too. The instinct left to children. Autumn goes to winter. North Pacific chill. Finally drilled through the deep-sea rock warehouse. Botanical plants are encased in tiny ice crystals. Every piece of seaweed becomes a rope full of stars, tingling in the undercurrent. This is the last sound I can hear. My senses are already blurred. The three hearts are immersed one by one, like a dying star. I was no longer hungry. The body becomes soft and empty, but my arms and legs are still sliding mechanically. Agitation. Mold removal. Spraying seawater doesn't need to be big. Brain command. It has become a more stubborn instinct than a heartbeat. The movement of the little guys in the egg sac. It's getting clearer and clearer. They use bodies that are not yet fully formed, hitting the egg arm, like a million little hearts, beating silently between my hands. My consciousness sometimes sinks like chaos. From time to time, I am awakened by these fluctuations. Sometimes I forget who I am. Sometimes I suddenly remember the figure that disappeared into the deep blue. I know it's the last word of the gene. You have completed your mission. Now please leave quietly. I am not afraid of death. I'm afraid it's too late. I'm afraid that when they are born, I don't have the strength to look at them again. I'm afraid they will open their eyes for the first time. I don't see my mother. It's a decomposing body. So, I used my last bit of strength. Curl up in the corner of the nest. Lie down quietly like a seed. I spread out my wrists, let them go to eat trails. Point to those hanging lights, so that when they break out of the shell, you can swim towards the light in my direction. Finally at dawn, the first egg sac quietly strategy. A little octopus the size of a fingernail pops its head out. The eyes on the transparent body are as bright as broken diamonds. He walked around the Wanfu in my whole district. Seems to want to touch me. Then he gently shrank back, curious and timid. Immediately after the second, The third of thousands of beautiful eggs blooms one after another. 100,000 little lives to 100,000 shooting stars falling from an egg, rising again. They skip my body, skip my wrist, skip my heart. They don't know who I am, but it was me who touched the world for the first time. A strong and gentle current from my red straw. This group of light the size of a grain of rice, splashing out narrow rock series, push into the vast and unknown deep blue. They should have gone further, to see brighter dawn. Child, go, don't be afraid. Mom is always there. Dark and gentle package comes. No pain, no fear. There is only one ultimate task. Deep serenity. When the morning is gradually fading away, I suddenly understand. Life is never about individual existence, but a grand delivery. Like the waters of the North Pacific Ocean flowing forever, today's waves will eventually become tomorrow's rain. And all mothers. It's that drop of water that is willing to evaporate itself. In the deep sea, we trade death for the life of our children. On land, you trade your life for your child's smile. Language barrier, different species. But we are talking about the same kind of love.